And if you are smart enough, you can know that one of the reasons why majority of the young Yorubas who are suffering in this contraption called Nigeria today are still willing to continue under that suffering is because they told them, I want local. So don't pretend about that. Okay? I am not an agitator, by the way. I am Mayegun. And if you want to understand why the people who are making these choices should also know the consequences of all these choices, how do you help them? So you can hold on to wherever you want to hold on to, if that helps. But we are not leaving them. None of them is going to be left. Because as you can see, in my own book, it would have been easier if everyone is so honest, including Tinubu himself. Okay? So honest, like they were before they tasted the pudding. These were guys who came to prominence because they told Yorubas that our interest comes first in that contraption called Nigeria, until they now told us that we should keep our interest for later for one person. So if there's any distraction at all, listen, this is it. And for those who are already jumping into it, again, I am just their conscience. Remember that. Stockbroker Tinubu. There is a part of where I'm going to quickly remind some of us, for the sake of those who probably need to remember. Stockholm Syndrome is one of the reasons why these guys would always present themselves as a savior. Hello. They are investing so much of your own resources that could have indeed secure a better future for our own children, and they are willing and ready to kill every one of us that's in any way demanded for equity, justice, and out of the entire arrangement. Oloye Sondebo is an example. Don't forget that. He was advocating for something that Tinubu should be advocating for. He was clamoring and raising alarm on something that the rest of those who claim to be Tinubu's disciples were also should be clamoring for. But because of one Nigeria, because of what they stand to gain, we can all go to blazes. Now, for those who are going to go to blazes, right, with them in the future, maybe we can help them realize that, do they have any other plan? Once Tinubu dragged them into this dragnet, or if he failed in his ambition, would Yoruba land now mean something to them? And that's why people like me won't stop talking. Sorry for that interruption. I want to listen to Alake again. Okay? Sir, again, what did you say is Tinubu's source of wealth? Now, that's the statement I wanted to remember. They said in Nigeria, you'll be asking for people's source of wealth. Every time, source of wealth. Do you ever ask for people's source of poverty before? So to them, all these things don't matter, Jare. All these people is order. Atamo Yoruba call it. Alake, what did you say Tinubu does or did to make his money? Again.
If we can tell Nigerians tonight what companies or what source of wealth or how does your principal make his money, because now these questions are going to be asked over and over again. If you can just clarify some of these issues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which of the companies does he own, since you said he doesn't own this or own that?
What I know is that right from his days in the corporate world, he has been trading in stocks. And he himself said so.
Stockbroker.
Even in foreign currency, he has been buying stocks and bonds and all of that. I'm not a finance person. So I'm not going to be interested in the nitty-gritty of it all. No, I'm not a finance man. But I know that he has been trading in stocks. And I know that when you trade in stocks and you are a finance person, You know how to juggle the stock market and all of that.
Juggle.
I get that. If they know what
Juggle the stock market.
He wouldn't start questioning how he made his money from stocks. He was buying stocks of blue chip companies and all of that, and he was making money. And he was spending money. And I said that he has been doing all of this years before he got to the. Now, why people are saying that are querying the source of his wealth is because he has been governor of Lagos, a successful governor of Lagos, a successful politician, even after office, and he's about the only one of the class of 1999 who is at that enviable height, political height today. So it's bound to attract all of these negative.
I mean, so you've so you mentioned stock trading.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing that you know majorly that he gets money from?
Is he material?
So does he have stake in some of these blue chip companies? Are they operating in Nigeria or where can we link them to? Are they still verifiable?
Let's move forward. Let's move forward from this whole thing. Like, I agree. But one thing that kind of amuses me, because I'm not going to say surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me anymore about this whole thing, right? But something that really amuses me is that people actually listen to people like that. Do you know that? Like, these are the character, the opinion molders, like, the opinion makers and all that, policy makers in Nigeria system. He's talking to them from London, no? So maybe they will feel like maybe it be like say Dele stroke yet affect Dele, or affect brain Dele. Uncle Dele, I don't know if you will see my own video, sir. They have told us, they said, you will never decide to sell APC, Egbekegbe, and not begin to sound like, what's it they call them? Weary. See, some of you may not know because a report came out just yesterday. The Nigeria psychiatrists, Association of Psychiatric something of Nigeria, because all these abbreviations, by the way, but they're like people or a group or an association of psychiatrists who came out with a report. And what's that report? They said over 60 million Nigerians get mental illness. Now, really, like, in Yoruba, they say àrùn ọpọlọ. Kí ni mo pè? Àrùn ọpọlọ. If you have 60 million people who get àrùn ọpọlọ, do you know what contributes to àrùn ọpọlọ, mental health, this most of the time? Do you know what contributes to them? Depression, abuses, past abuses. I'm trying to tell you some of them. And these abuses that you face under APC, economic abuses, security abuses, healthcare, all that stuff, right? You'll be to get normal, you know what I mean? Now, this is not me who said that. It is the Psychiatric Association of Nigeria, the Association of Psychiatrists of Nigeria, wherever. They say 60 million of Nigerians get mental illness. And not symptoms, confirm one. If not, should people, because people listen to people like that. 23 years of democracy, uninterrupted rule of Lagos. Even Dele Alake himself cannot get health care in Lagos after 23 years. He's in London. Now they ask him, he said Tinubu is a stockbroker. Do you believe that? In all honesty, tell me, do you believe that? Were you not laughing when he was talking? Just your choice. But let me tell you something I know that you should probably look up as well. Okay. Number one, the owners of, the real owner of Alpha Beta that they shortchanged is still in court, demanding for his supposed agreed cuts from the Lagos State tax that Tinubu is wholly keeping for himself. However, there is a part you should know. Check your screen. Something that if you probably feel like somebody like Dele Alake cannot be one of those to be like, talking and you'll be listening. You are laughing, right? But here is Tinubu that we know. How did Tinubu make his money? If this is your first time of probably watching this, this is not the first time. Many people on this platform have heard this. From drug lord to the presidency, your future president of Nigeria, like Keyamo said, everything you like, make you talk. Everything you like, Mayegun talk. Tinubu will be president of Nigeria. Olodo, you are not doing me. Okay? Bukwari is your president. It didn't affect me, I cannot lie you. But again, if you probably make your choice at the same time, you must also be responsible for the consequences of that, okay? But before they twist time and change the story, call them enmity, then hate them for the sake of our children. Remember, there is this David Huntayin's report. I'm going to read part of it again tonight before I take calls. Then after that, we're going to go even a bit further before we take calls, right? Give me just about 15 minutes of your time. A reminder, from drug lord to presidential candidates. However, there's still this Zainab. They say Zainab, the psychiatric home in London, because of drug abuse and because they don't want her to stain the name of Tinubu. She's been there for a while now. And so many other things that they are likely not going to be relevant to you. But he wants to be president of Nigeria. Everything is going to be in the open. If you're not comfortable with that, I don't understand, because I'm not going to pretend I understand, but that's your own cup of tea. Now, here is the part. I want to go a bit forward, talking about his drug dealership, okay? Say to your children, drug is wrong, okay? Tell your children no, to say no to drug. And today, the Nigeria has become partly the transit for drug pushing in the entire Africa and the world today. The genesis and those behind it, they are now growing older. At the same time, they hold the level of power, the power that directs your everyday life. It's up to you, your choice. So here is the story. Two drug dealers and an accountant, a partnership begins. Now, federal investigators had determined that Edward's okay, I think there should be a background. Okay, there should be a background. Now, the background is that on the 11th of October 1990, federal agents from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, knocked on the front door of 460 Taft Place in the city of Gary, Indiana. Once a booming steel town with a population approaching 80,000 in 1960. Now, Gary was one of the number of cities and towns across the U.S. suffering from severe population loss. Now, from having over 30,000 employees at its peak in 1970, the city's main employer, U.S. Steel Gary Works, retained just 6,000 employees in 1990. Now, what is this 1990 about Tinubu? In these circumstances, right, it was the moment Tinubu and the issue of two drug dealers and an accountant, okay? Now, according to court record from the U.S. United States Court of Appeals, 7th Circuit, the DEA agents arrived at the property to execute a search warrant after a 7-month FBI investigation involving Edward's brother, Jimmy, implicated him as the narcotics kingpin of Gary. Edwards did not open the door for the agents, who were forced to break into the house. He instead fired 3 gunshots at them, after which he surrendered. DEA agents found weapons, including a carbine rifle, thousands of dollars in cash, drug prepping equipment, including a triple beam scale, and several grams of cocaine and heroin powder in the house. He was later sentenced to life in prison, but not before something about his business operation came to the fore. 2 drug dealers and an accountant, a partnership begins. So federal investigators had determined that Edward's heroin supply came from a Nigerian drug dealer in Chicago called Abiodun Agbele. Now, Abiodun had earlier agreed to work for the feds in exchange for lighter sentencing. And as part of the plea deal, he revealed everything he knew about the heroin trade in Chicago. Located at the junction of 4 states with combined population exceeding 27 million at the time, Chicago was a key trafficking hub in the American heroin trade. And as it turned out, the wholesale trade of an especially potent form of heroin from Southeast Asia in 1990s, Chicago was controlled by Nigerian criminal gangs. Now, that's the record of that. Go further. Agbele himself was no criminal mastermind. Agbele himself was no criminal mastermind. However, as he testified under oath that honor belonged to a man who went by the name Adegboyega Muiz Akonde, who was apparently his uncle. Shortly after Agbele's arrival in the US, Akonde had taken him under his wing and showed him the ropes of wholesale heroin trafficking. When Akonde returned to Nigeria in mid-1990, Agbele was left in charge of selling regular heroin shipments from Nigeria to Lee Edwards and delivering the profits to his uncle. In the meantime, the Nigerian-led heroin trade in Chicago fed an addiction epidemic that became so bad that it changed local health and law enforcement practices. For the first time, providing addicts with free access to safe syringes and needles to ensure that they did not share them and possibly spread HIV became a core focus of public health care policy back there. Now, let's go to the space where, now, while all this was going on, an interesting subplot was taking place in the background. An accountant living in the Chicago area who worked for Mobil Oil, Nigeria, with a declared monthly income of $2,400, had just deposited over $1.4 million in the bank. He had no known source of income apart from his day job, but he had become friends with Akonde and Agbele, discovering one key piece of information in the process: drug dealers needs accountants too. Soon, he would find himself holding and wiring money on behalf of a Nigerian heroin gang in Chicago. Fast forward a bit to January 1992, and he would find himself the subject of a US federal investigation. That's Bobo Chicago, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen. Now, Bobo Chicago, hang on, I want to check something out. Let your children watch this. Tell them so that they don't hero worship criminals, because they have managed to mask their crime for so long, and they have also managed to amass enough, sort of a patronage after they have shared what you can call the proceeds of their crimes. Looting public money, conspiring to steal from the public purse is a crime, and therefore these guys are criminals. But it didn't start today, by the way. Now, move forward. Fast forward a bit further in the same year, and he would successfully run for office in Nigeria as a senator for Lagos West. Then another politician said to have ties to international drug trafficking would successfully run for president in Nigeria on a controversial all-Muslim ticket in 1993, MKO Abiola. Anyway, we'll get to that. Now, the election will be annulled. I'm going to go on just to go back to these accountants. Right. A major political opponent accountant will end up. Okay, now I'll go to that. Now, the origin story. Okay. Now, a US district court would seem like an odd place to begin this story. But this is no ordinary story. The main character in this story is an individual whose entire existence is as puzzlingly mysterious as it is loud and public. For at least 30 years, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been at or near the grinding phase of frontline politics in Nigeria. Yet, a peek 1 inch below the surface reveals how little is actually known about the man who some say is Nigeria's president in waiting. Now, first of all, there is the age controversy. How old is the man really? What is his real date of birth? Short answer, no one actually knows. Like many Nigerians born into the less than auspicious circumstances that characterized his childhood in Iragbiji, Osun State, he himself may not even know. Similar controversy exists around what his actual name is. A popular theory is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an identity that he transitioned into at some point after moving to Lagos to live with his surrogate mother, Alaja Abibatu Mogaji. Now, that's Alaja there. The only thing every version of his life story has in common is that for the first 2 decades, 20 years or so, he was apparently invincible and unmemorable. There are no childhood friends, classmates, neighbors, or colleagues that remembers him. Sometime in the mid-1970s, he somehow materialized at the international airport in Lagos, holding a passport with a US visa and a one-way ticket to Chicago in hand. From his arrival in Chicago in 1975, his story became easier to track and verify. He first spent 2 years gaining an associate degree at Richard J. Dele College in Chicago. From there, he proceeded on to Chicago State University, where he studied accounting, completing his bachelor's degree in 1979. Subsequently, his story appeared straightforward and prosaic. Got a job as an accountant at Mobil Oil Nigeria Limited in Fairfax, Virginia. Got married to Oluremi and went on to have 3 kids with her. Well, after, 3 fruitful indiscretions, shall we say, I am. Now, in a 2016 interview with the news, Tinubu claimed that his break into the financial big time came at the Big Four consultancy firm. Listen to that again. No, he told the the news that he broke into financial. The way he broke into the financial big time came at the Big Four consultancy firm, Deloitte and Touche, where he supposedly received an $850,000 bonus as a result of his work on a single on-site engagement at the Saudi state-owned oil firm. Bogus, lie. Let's hear Dele Alake again. That is contrary to what Dele Alake said here, how he made his money.
If you can tell Nigerians tonight, what companies or what source of wealth or how does your principal make his money? Because now these questions are going to be asked over and over again. If you can just clarify some of these issues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which of the companies does he own? Since you said he doesn't own this or own that.
What I know is that right from his days in the corporate world, he has been trading in stocks. And he himself said so.
Stockbroker.
Even in foreign currency, he has been buying stocks and bonds and all of that. I'm not a finance person. So I'm not going to be interested in the nitty-gritty of it all. No, I'm not a finance fan. But I know that he has been trading in stocks.
Okay.
And I know that when you trade in stocks and you are a finance person, you know how to juggle the stock market and all of that.
Juggle.
I get that. If they know what
Juggle the stock market.
Juggle the stock market. That's what Alake said. Juggle the stock market. That is not true, because there's no stock market anywhere other than, drug smuggling, like as is on record, as well as the open purse of Lagos, public money, a crime, by the way, that many of them should end up in jail, by the way, if all of you actually know what they are doing to you. But do you care? I don't think you do. But continue. Anyway, David further, shared this. In any case, one does not need an economic study or a Glassdoor salary survey to establish that Tinubu was blatantly lying about where the $1.8 million sitting in his account came from. A document whose existence has long been teased and rumored, but never quite properly dissected in the public domain, tells us all we need to know. The document, which was obtained from the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, contains damning information that Tinubu has spent the past 30 years trying to suppress, undermine, and ignore. Uploaded in full and publicly accessible. Here is the document. The document contains a comprehensive federal indictment and associated case files from July 1993, containing clear and incontrovertible evidence that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was once, in fact, a bagman, handling and laundering proceeds of heroin trafficking for a Nigerian drug ring in Chicago. It's on record. So, this is it. There's a number there. You can verify anywhere you want to. Go on to the, verifiable, U.S. websites, Justice Department and all that. This is what you can easily access yourself, okay? They are there. It's easily stated, okay? But let's move on. Now, this is not the first time that the content of these documents have been reported. But the stories have typically not gone into the detail needed to drive home the point that the man who would be Nigeria's next president is, in fact, a drug criminal. Tinubu's vast army of media chills and spokespeople have spun an endless web of narratives explaining why what is written in black and white is all a big mistake or a mischaracterization. One of the most common defenses is seen in the example below, where they say, oh, they have cleared him. In fact, he made it. No. Right? Now, this is Abiodun Agbele, the partner in crime, drug heroin business with Tinubu back then. Now, you see his face. He's likely somebody you know. He's right there in Nigeria, probably enjoying what, I don't know. Now, let's go a bit further before I, go to the other things. In the charges, by the way, in one of them, said the U.S. Attorney for Northern District of Illinois, Michael Shepard, files the complaint for forfeiture of funds in bank's account held by Tinubu as they owed the proceeds of a heroin distribution organization headed by Adegboyega Muiz Akonde. Tinubu's funds represent the proceeds of this operation or property involved in money laundering and the proceeds of narcotic trafficking. Shepard requests that the court adjudge and declare that the funds should be forfeited to the United States. Now, this is where the plea bargain came in. Okay, you know what? Fine. What do you think we can do? I will let this other one go, drop all the charges. You take this particular court and the rest of that, okay? Now, you can go on and read a lot about this from Tinubu. Some of the money they got from this invested in, estate properties and all that, including for two of his daughters, as far back as that night. So when Dele Alake said Tinubu has been giving money, he has been spending money, but Dele Alake could not really say this is his job. This was what he was doing. This particular company or that, how much is the turnover and the rest of that. The reason why they can't say that, like he described here, is what I just told you now. You know this before now, not that you really care. For those who don't, Dele Alake was struggling. Somebody will know Tinubu more than most of you, the vuvu sellers, couldn't even explain it. Now you have the answer, and don't listen to people like this.
Very much. Now, for me to answer that judiciously, I have to go back to how the man I knew him to have been spending money and to have been wealthy ever before he got into office. And I'll give you an example. When in 1991, he was going into politics, making his foray into politics, he contested the senatorial election, Lagos West, and won. And you and I know, and in fact most Nigerians know, that contesting elections in Nigeria is not a child's play. Papas don't contest elections, more or less. How much more senatorial elections? Papas don't do it. So he must be a man of some means. So he contested. In fact, before that, he had been contributing to political organizations.
How did he make his money? How did he make the money?
Or prime roles of whatever, how they call it. Alake Kola Oseni is still alive. He had been making political contributions towards causes and all that before he himself took up the gauntlet and went into the Senate. Now, his election result, he polls the highest number of votes nationwide in that senatorial.
How did he make his money is what they are asking about. Again, we can be here all night asking how he made that. No wonder. The only thing, other thing that could have happened is that if APC, Egbe, with Bokwari, if they have ever thought of a time where Tinubu that brought them to power will need the same vehicle to take him to power as well. For 7 years, they destroyed Nigeria, ruined the economy, stole what they could steal, and killed those they can kill, and still killing, by the way. So that is why the only thing they can sell is the tribal division, Igbos versus Yorubas. And guess those who are going to actually fight the fight? The victims of all of this. They say the poverty doesn't know you, whether you are Igbo or you are Igbo, you are Yoruba, or you are Hausa, or you are Fulani, or you are a Christian or a Muslim, and including the insecurity that everybody is facing. But the only way for APC, Egbekegbe, to keep this madness going, right, and continue to force Nigeria together as one is to use the Igbos versus Yorubas agenda. Is already out there. Many of you are already recruited into these different camps. Okay, and if I wanted to even support an Igbo man before, because you know how they say, if you are a Yoruba man, and you are not supporting Tinubu, you are a bastard, Omoale, in their book. If you are an Igbo man and you are not supporting Peter Obi, what did they call Omoale in Igbo? Oh yeah, help me. Before I continue, because I want to use it like one or twice. What do you call Omoale in Igbo? What do you call bastards in Igbo? So this whole line, this segment and division is already there. And the only way to keep them and keep everybody so confused, delusioned, and all of that is to widen that hatred gap. And I've said this many times, I would never invest any of my own emotion into any of this charade before the killing starts. So I won't I won't end up having to say, man, my heart is broken. Many of you are already recruited into this scheme, but you don't know. To you, nobody can insult Yoruba. How can you insult Yoruba? Look at all the Igbos insulting Yoruba. Some of you don't know. All of this are the handiwork of all your political party, mainly APC, Egbekegbe. They will set you up. You're going to set yourself up on social media, threaten yourself, and you're going to take it from social media. You're going to take it onto the streets. On the streets, you can look at how the Igbos are insulting Yoruba. Look at all this nonsense. As a Yoruba man, they want to get you offended. Why? Because some people want to own Nigeria or to save Nigeria. As a Yoruba man, Abi, as an Igbo man, you are going to get offended. Can you see all the nonsense the Yorubas are writing about us? Can you see the nonsense that Yoruba man said? Then you quickly jump on it. You are doing what they want you to do. Last, una go de waka with guns. Una go de waka with different weapons. Una go de target to ourselves. And as una targeting ourselves, recording as you are targeting yourself. See what we do this, pastor. The pastor go say nonsense. They support Tinubu. We don't beat them up. They don't beat one pastor up because it's support Tinubu. We know one pastor where they support Obi as well. We'll go born in church. And before you know, you will be taking it on like that. And you know what I mean? A serious asylum center. If you are not seeing it, I have seen it. I've taken a back seat. That is why I said, let the spectacle begin. Because on Mayegun's Diary Political, I can always use all of your illusions, all your delusional mind that makes you believe that, in fact, you have what it takes in your camp to save Nigeria, lying to yourselves. But this is it. They've already set the motion. For somebody like this who knows them better, I like him to kind of help me remind you who are the APC.
APC is a grand fraud, expert liars. They are first-class propagandists. They thrive on propaganda. They have spent so much money on media to cover them up.
So when I know people like that, what do you think I should tell you? They no get shame. Imagine with what APC did to Nigeria. Somebody is still like entitled, offended that people don't want to touch Tinubu, and they are angry. Abi, nevertheless, so like I said, everybody get their own choice if you are choosing to be part of their worldview. But I just want to warn you with what Keyamo said today. They said that Peter Obi is going to stage an assassination attack that is going to look like they tried to assassinate him. When I was coming live to get on to the studio for this, there is this image. I haven't confirmed it. I don't know if that has been, but there is this image that I picked up, and somebody said, you know, Peter Obi is back in Nigeria now from his tour, right? And somebody said that they had a report that Peter Obi escaped attack somewhere, unconfirmed before I came live. But yesterday in eastern Nigeria, the story of unknown gunmen. You know, tomorrow, Bokwari is visiting Imo State, I believe, right? And then yesterday, their unknown gunmen surfaced again, and they killed 6 people in the entourage of a senator called Uba, Senator Uba or something, I don't know. Ifeanyi Uba. Stoking that as, as usual, if you would say. But put it mildly, they are already setting everything in motion that is going to, in fact, activate the Igbo versus Yoruba face-off. And this face-off is not going to be like the usual banter. It is not. It's not looking so. Okay? It's going to be bloody in a way. Somebody asked me, he said, Mayegun, then what is the way forward? I have said it many times. The way forward is the toughest way that many of you are ready to argue it out with me why that option is totally impossible, or why that option is not that easy. The easiest option, which you have been choosing, is what? To choose between the devil and the deep blue sea, which they have been positioning you to choose from all this while. And they've always been leading to one same place, just where you came back and where you were trying to escape from. Go and vote. Go and register to vote. Go and choose your good leader. Go and do this and that. Just the same technique. Very easy, very convenient, so bloody, but you are used to it. The way forward is not hard. The reasons why we are unable to move forward as a people is because we have different mission, we have different vision, we have different goals as a people, right? And at the same time, we have different destination that we are headed. And you can't put people with different destination, different vision, different mission, and even different tongues, languages in the same place, without their consent, without their agreed terms and conditions that they agree to will work for them, for their own progress or prosperity, so to say, including security. Now, you can't put them and force them together under this arrangement and expect progress, expect unity, expect safety, expect security, and all those things they promises you in during their own bogus charade called election. So if you ask me, what is wrong if you actually have to, at first, let's ask ourselves, do we really want to be in this arrangement? That's a question that they are asking you to avoid. The one they are asking, they are telling you that is provocative. It's going to cause war or not. Now look at you. You are not at war, but you are burying Nigerians every day more than the people who are being killed in Syria, where they have been fighting war for God knows when, right? But yet, they are telling you that asking us to say, do we really want to be together? Do we? Like genuinely? That is something that can be put into a ballot rather than you trying to choose a messiah, a savior. It's going to fix this. It's going to fix that. He has these two. He has the option and the rest of that. So my option is not acceptable to many of you because it is not convenient. And you are programmed to believe that, oh, that can wait too. When we choose the best leader under the wrongest system, how do you expect her to choose a good leader under a completely rotten, wrong system? Now, that's where you and I, if you are what the pro-Nigeria and then you are not pro-independence, so to say. Do you see that? So if you ask me way forward, my way forward is the way they have told you not to tread. Do you get that? The people in Nigeria deserves to be asked that question. Do they want to be part of Nigeria? Under what terms and conditions? You can tell, I mean, you can be part of that too. Everybody will be part of that to choose. Do you want to be part of this or not? And if you love Nigeria, under whatever ideology, you will stand by Nigeria. And those who don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore, they will also have their say. If those who want to be part of Nigeria are more than those who don't want to be part of Nigeria, what happens is that we all review the terms and conditions of other what terms and conditions will keep us under that. I mean, under Nigeria. This is not too hard to say, except if we just want to continue to blow grammar here and there. The other option, now for all of us to kill ourselves, and the survivors, they can go and form new countries. That bloody one is already being fought, or already been activated by the jihadists who took over the reign of government in Nigeria. The jihadists are already executing the plan of the same takeover, the Fulani terrorists. Don't ignore that. So if you want way forward, the first thing is that you have to first stop lying to yourselves and start telling yourself the truth. The truth is that no matter what you try, no matter what you push, no matter your idea, you can never get a good government from a terrible system. Now, you might say people make a system. A system is not just something that just pop up anywhere. Now, you are right. But can you agree with me that the few number of people, the interested criminals who actually presented this particular system, nurturing it, murdering people to keep it together for decades now, would you say they consulted you or they consulted your own forebearers or anybody in your own lineage before they put together this same system that you currently are all struggling to make work? It won't work because none of you was consulted. None of us was consulted to say, is this the system that you actually agree with that could indeed make you feel like you belong to a place and you can call it a country? You know what I'm saying, But your hypocrisy can continue to lie to you and continue to deceive you. Continue to put the veil over your eyes that, yes, somebody is going to come in with the magic wand. Is going to come in with the magical torch. And then once we elect a good leader, blah, you are lying to yourselves. That's why I'm not part of that. I am not. Tifnumbu, Obi, Atifku, you all belong to the same camp in my book. And I cannot explain myself enough. Because what you are trying to fix, to put together is to maintain the status quo and then believe that it system will fix itself. It fix itself the moment you change the personnel. We have been there before. And somebody like me is not amused. Okay? So, they are setting the stage for what is going to become the bloodiest part that some of you are saying is not an option. It's not an option too, but my option is easier. It takes a lot of people to be involved in that, and it actually takes a lot of people. It takes the people to build a country. When the people are completely, far away from the system that is ruling them, definitely the contrast, which is what we are seeing in Nigeria today, does no one any good. So talking about the dirty, criminal, fake accounts that they are already pushing out, and that many of you are also going to be engaging. Okay, for the part of northern Nigeria, there is also a team that are also pushing something like this. You can call it fake too, but the message is the same, trying to stoke the fire or the flame of ethnic war, ethnic clashes, not with anyone, but between the Yorubas and the Igbos. If you're a Yoruba man supporting Tinubu, if you're an Igbo man supporting Obi, and the vice versa, if you're an Igbo man supporting Tinubu and you're a Yoruba man supporting Obi, right? Now, the vehicle that they are taking you on right now is going to turn many of you to this kind of a vampire kind, like, the rage, the anger, the hatred that will eventually become homicidal. Things like this, you'll be reading a lot of them. Read this one. Oh. Baba Gana Jabama Buka. Obviously, maybe a fake account as well, but the message is almost the same. Read it. Oh. If Jonathan from the most minority region can be a president, nothing will stop Shetima from being the vice president and the president after Tinubu's death before 1 year in office. Some of you have seen this as well, Abi. Now, people have reacted to it too. People will share them. Share them. Let the Yoruba see this. See waiting Hausa man posted though. See waiting Yoruba man posted about Igbos. See waiting an Igbo man posted about Yorubas. And then the popular handles, like I told you, they will amplify them. They are all taking you to the same place. The word they told you that Nigeria should avoid. And they are taking you, now some of us who know that they are taking you to places you don't know are screaming to you right now. You can boycott the entire thing. Unplug the lifeline on the old charade. Demand for something that is inclusive is you. Something that doesn't have to make you validate the fraud. You can scream like this.
I will not allow you to. Hey, help me, 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 help me. If they carry me, they go where I don't know. Help me, help me, help me.
Now, on my own part, my young waiting be your own. Gone. What is your own gain in all of this? What should we do? See, people ask me that all the time. But guess what? Majority of those who ask me that question, right? They actually don't mean it. They don't mean the question. Many of them are those who have already chosen side with their different oppressors. That is why they can ask, who should we then vote for? Who should we do it then? What should we then do? What you should do is to opt out of the old charade. Number one way to opt out is when you begin to see when we have been seeing all these messages anyway, they have been sharing them on WhatsApp here and there. Be the agent that is going to embarrass these criminals. They have recruited you through propaganda. You can get yourself out of it by knowing the truth that you have known now. Their intention is not to fix Nigeria. And none of them, no intention of fixing anything. They can say anything. They can act anything. They can make you believe anything. And they can make you do anything as well, just because you think they are going to do something. Now, once you see all this tribal card, ethnic card, they are pushing here and there, because it serves your interest, because of who you support, and you are sharing them, you are contributing to what is later going to possibly, become a big war. And it is in that chaos that they maintain their power over you. In that chaos, right, you are going to be pushed into validating them. And after everything is said and done, you're going to find yourself in the same place or worse, like you found yourself with APC Egbekegbe today. Now, how do you try to mentally bridge this? The propaganda is already flying here and there. The ethnic baiting is already flying here and there. You can be the one to say, well, this one is an effort to turn Igbos versus Yorubas. I know some of you are already into it. I don't know if I can manage to convince one or two of you, not to become that Kayon ball, cannonball, I be what they call it a cannonball, right? With fire is what they are going to turn every one of you into. And I'm talking about walking atomic bombs. You will become walking bombs as Nigerians with the level of psychological ruins they have brought upon you, and with the level of propaganda they are going to bombard you with, including your parents at home, here and there, in Igbo land, in Yoruba land, everywhere. They are going to turn you into a walking bomb. And what do you think will happen when you have a lot of walking bombs everywhere? Hungry, hateful, bigoted individuals who are also getting fed by troll, who are stoking this ember of what have you, all for what? Because they want to rescue Nigeria? Because they want to save you? You know they are not planning to do that to you. They are not saving anybody but themselves. Maybe you can deactivate your own timer. And if I can't deactivate you by telling you this, and you continue to feed on that and spread it, and you are feeding fat on that as well, I can tell you this, you may not know, every one of you, whether na PDP, whether na APC, whether na Labour, whether na Christian or Muslim, Northern now, Eastern now, whether you are Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa, or wherever you are, you see the pace at which they are pushing you now, you will help them burn down Nigeria too, like somebody just said. But Mayegun, is that not a good thing? We have told them not to invest their emotion. When everybody gets bonds and they couldn't take it after all said and done, those who are going to be killed in the whole thing, and they, at the end of the day, those who feel cheated and they're shortchanged, when they begin to act and they begin to fight themselves, won't that then make us, available, like the Red Cross, pacify them, comfort them, and remind them that you could have saved yourself all this trauma, but you didn't listen to us when we told you. Good enough you survived it, or you are trying to survive it now, but there is an option, no other one. Let everybody go their separate ways, peacefully. But if you don't believe me, you can do you. So my friends on YouTube and then my friends on Facebook, right? I want to say thank you, by the way, even though Facebook is so messy. I want to say thank you to all of you who recently just joined me. My friends on Facebook are now sort of over 500,000, right? So we have over 500,000 of Mayegun's friends on Facebook. Now, if you are my friends on Facebook and you're seeing this broadcast, Facebook has done so much, put so much limitation on my page that not all of you will actually see me go live, or you will never even receive any notification at all. So you can take a minute. I have been trying to get as many of you to join me on YouTube. It's convenient there. It's more supportive to those of you who have always been interested in supporting Mayegun as well. YouTube channel is one of the places you can actually stay. It's almost the same thing like what you do on Facebook. 500,000 of us on Facebook, and many of you don't even receive the notification. It is the same thing. Mayegun's Diary Political. Take a moment while I take a break, and take a moment and check me out on YouTube right now. Subscribe, set your notification on, and then always remember, you will never miss a thing. I'm going to take calls, but before I do that, I'm going to make another cup of tea. So like the broadcast, share it if you haven't, and then you can pick up that phone. It's a WhatsApp call only. The number is on your screen. And now we'll be back.
Liar.